can't wait to watch this, dude. It's gonna be fun.
It's a good one. Hey guys, welcome to the commentary on this track. This is a special bonus for only for Patreons. We'll be able to see this. Thanks so much for your support. These shots that we filmed in the shop, we actually did this almost 2 weeks after we filmed the original thing. I came up to Damon's house and we filmed it. So if you put 2 and 2 together, that means we're not actually watching this right now. Because I had to go home and edit all of this stuff together. So,
But just pretend that it did.
You're watching it with us.
Mm-hmm.
So what's some of the funny things that happened today while we were filming? I got hit in the nards with an oil filter.
Well, you were a little bit nervous about me wielding my bushcrafter's knife around. It kept kind of scoot away.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to crawl underneath your bike for a second.
One thing that we learned from the first video is that we shouldn't spend too much time setting up the adventure. We should get to the adventure as quickly as possible. And that's why we think, this scene will be about 60 seconds long or less even. We just want to get straight into the action.
Mm-hmm.
And this episode was so much fun to watch that, this stuff in the shop was really just kind of fluff, kind of just to set things up.
Yeah, set it up so you kind of understand what we're doing in the first place.
And why we're going, why we're getting on the bikes and going somewhere.
And we may as well just say some of the mistakes that we made.
Oh, one thing, we also wanted to start having like a running joke where in the first video I say, we ran out of hot sauce and I say, I know a guy. And then we end up in Mexico. And in this video, Damon wants to become a bushcrafter and I say, I know a guy. And then I don't know if it'll be like this in every episode, but it could be a recurring joke where I happen to know a guy and then we get in over our heads. It always leads to disaster.
And Ryan always has the wacky idea, and I'm the one that's trying to make sense of it all, trying to keep us sensible, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah.
And
I get to be the wild card.
Yeah, Ryan gets to be the wild card. I'm the one trying to keep everything together. Ryan's the one that's blowing everything apart all the time.
Yeah.
That's kind of the idea. And by the way, how many takes did it take us to film that first opening scene? We try not to do it too many times because then it seems really unnatural. So we just start going. We just start turning the camera on and just start going. We
know that it looks better if it doesn't feel scripted, but we want to have an idea of what we're supposed to accomplish with the scene. So we kind of talk about what we need to do, and then once in a while we might get tripped up, but sometimes that's okay. People get tripped up in normal speech anyway, so we try not to make it too perfect.
Kind of run with it. So
this is like 3 minutes now.
Okay, so we get moving on.
Okay.
So after the opening scene here, then we're going to go into the riding scene. The riding scene we actually filmed at the very end of the day. The lighting was beautiful. We were exhausted and tired, but
pretty hot that day.
Pretty hot. We were low on water, and we filmed this in Goshen Canyon, which is a little canyon between Goshen and Mona. And we had some trippy stuff happen. Now I'm going to default a little bit to Ryan. You're going to see
so in
silver
this
van.
next shot, right there goes a silver van. And we did many loops through this canyon, and we kept seeing this van, and it seemed of no consequence, right?
Yeah,
how often do you see a van on the side of the road? Somebody's going hiking, whatever.
But the weird thing is that van moved once.
Yeah.
It moved one time. It was in that place, and then later.
Well, we were cleaning up.
It was before that even. It was moved in another place. I forgot to tell you. And then I noticed, why'd that van move?
Yeah.
I just thought of that, but I didn't think any more of it. I said, why'd that van move?
So that's
just parked in a different place.
At the end of the day, we're cleaning up all of our gear, we're putting stuff away, and then I look up the street and the van is parked there in the middle of the road. Like they're sitting there watching us. I'm like, well, that's a little weird. A little while later, the van drives past us. No big deal. We clean up. My friend Sally was helping us film. She took my truck back to the beginning of the canyon to pick up her car and come back for us. And we were like dying of thirst. I said, we'll meet you in Goshen. Find us at the gas station in Goshen. and we'll meet up there.
Okay, remember the one other weird thing that happened when we were cleaning up? We were loading our stuff on our bikes. Ryan and I were loading up, getting ready to leave, and that silver van
It passed
went
us.
really slow and swerved out into the middle of the road.
Yeah.
And some lady looked at us. I remember.
I'm gonna pause
Okay, you gotta pause it
it because this story's taking too long.
This lady's looking at us, and she looks like a zombie to me.
I didn't really see her.
I did see her, and I was like,
because
what
she
is
was driving
doing?
so slow, I didn't really hear the van coming. And I was putting some gear away, and we had like 3 people's gear, and we were trying to like sort out whose is whose before we all part ways.
And she
And I
swerved
heard-
right over by us.
Yeah, I kind of heard it, and I kind of turned, but I didn't really see her face.
Yeah, I saw her face, and I thought she was gonna like run into us.
Yeah.
And then she kind of slowly swerved away and meandered down the road and disappeared around the other corner. And we said to each other, now that was weird.
I said something like, "What the hell was that person's problem?"
Yeah, yeah, something like that. And I just thought it was freaking weird.
So then we split up. They go for the truck. They go for their car, and we were gonna sit there and wait. Remember? We'll just wait for you guys here. And then I said, "No, you know what? Let's go to town and get a drink."
We had no water. We were out completely.
I bought like a whatever. So we're gonna go. We get going. We go around almost the first corner after we leave them, and the van is parked on the side of the road now.
And before you said something, I thought, there's that wacky van. Get away from that van.
Yeah.
So I cruised way around the van.
Well, I stayed by where I was. I was on the part of the lane where I was closer to the van, and I looked over, and I just, in this split second where I passed the van, I thought I saw a woman who was foaming at the mouth.
And then you caught up to me.
I
You
said, I
said,
can't
Damon, there's something wrong with that lady. She's foaming at the mouth. And I'm like,
She
what?
needs help or something.
She needs help. or
We
something.
flipped around hard, and I parked my bike like right in the middle of the road, and I walked over to her, and her pupils were the size of dinner plates. And you could tell that something was wrong, and I could tell right away that what I thought I saw was foam in her mouth was actually that she had just taken a whole bunch of prescription pills, and there was like residue on her lips from that.
And I saw the pill bottles in between the seats, and I go, Ryan, there's pill bottles. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then you held one up. I'm not going to say what it is, but I saw what it was, and I went, oh no.
I can't remember. I couldn't pronounce it.
I don't know.
So I told her she was. I think I asked her if she was okay, and you could tell that she wasn't okay.
She didn't even know what you were saying.
I told her to get in the passenger seat, and she somehow managed to drag herself to the passenger seat. And then I went to move my motorcycle on the side of the road, and you told me just
And I
go.
said, Ryan,
Just go.
just take her. I'll take care of the bikes. Just give her. There's a fire station at the end of the road on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
I said that 2 or 3 times, and you took off.
I jumped in. I left my helmet, but I jumped in the van with my jacket on and my gloves on, and we started driving. And she was in and out of consciousness, like she was falling asleep. And I kept grabbing her and shaking her leg and telling her to stay awake and that everything's going to be okay. And I tried to ask her about her family and just to keep her awake. Got to the fire station. Oh, one funny thing that I thought was funny was that I had some adrenaline, and I was driving like one does when there's an emergency. Not crazy, but quicker than normal. And at one point, I didn't put my seatbelt on when I jumped in. And she had just drug herself over. She didn't have a seatbelt on. And we're blasting through this canyon in a minivan. And at one point, this woman who was attempting suicide reached over and was trying to put her seatbelt on. And I thought, that made me feel good because I thought,
Maybe she wants to live.
yeah, she wants to live. She's concerned for her safety. She wants to live. So I helped her buckle it, and I put mine on about that time.
Meanwhile, while you're gone,
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
you
this
don't even know
part.
what happened.
No.
So he takes off, and I'm sitting there in the middle of this canyon with no water, 2 bikes, by myself.
Yeah.
And I'm
There was a
thinking,
creek right by the road.
creek. I could have drank Giardia water, I guess, if I wanted to. But I'm thinking, oh crap, how long is he going to be? I've got no water.
Yeah, I didn't know.
We had no idea. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, you know what if someone came by right now and just suddenly wanted one of these bikes or both of these bikes?
Yeah.
I'd be walking. Luckily, here comes the white car of Sally's husband
Yeah.
and your truck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, great. Well, your truck was out of water. Sally's husband, I'm like, what's his Trent, wasn't it?
Trent, yeah.
I'm like, Trent, do you have any water? He says, I think I have some in the back. I don't know. So we opened up the trunk and there was this like boiling hot water back there. I'm like, I'll take it. And I explained to them what happened. I didn't know at this point how bad she was. I just knew that there were prescription pill bottles. You were taking her and that I was stuck there.
So in the center console, we saw 2 empty bottles. But later, she said there's more in the back, and there was 5 empty bottles. And there were some different things.
Or total?
Total, there was 5.
Oh my God.
But she was in bad shape, and what happened? I went to the fire station, and what happened with Trent?
So I told Trent, I says, you guys go down to the end of the road here because Ryan's going to need a way to get back because he's in her van.
Yeah.
So he has no way of getting back. So they left your truck, and I says, leave the keys because if I get too hot, I'm going to get in the air conditioning, which was almost out of gas.
Oh, right.
So I'm thinking, oh, geez.
You just barely, like the light.
My phone is almost dead. I have no cell phone coverage at all.
Yeah.
And so
that was one reason why we had to take the van, because dialing 911, I don't even know if that was an option.
There wasn't.
Like, I had no signal.
Yeah. So they take off in the car. I've got this boiling hot water. And after a while, I was like, man, my phone is dead. I can't have a dead phone. So I got in your truck and I started it and turned the air conditioning on for a while. I started to cool off.
There was a charger in the truck.
And I started charging my phone too. Meanwhile, you were
I'm blasting to the fire station first.
Oh, that's right.
And I pull in the parking lot, and it's dark, and it's Saturday night. I'd pound on the door. I didn't wait for very long before I said, okay, they're not here. Jump back in the van, go down to Main Street in Goshen. I take a right. I don't know Goshen very well. I take a right, and there's just like some houses, and then the town ends. I make a U-turn, I come back, I find a gas station. I walk inside. I'm amped up, you know, blast through the door. I'm having a really weird situation to this lady behind the desk. I got something really weird going on, and I need you to call 911. And she picks up her phone, and she just hands it to me. And I'm like, okay, I take it, beep, 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 dial 911. And the operator asked me all sorts of questions about whether or not she took the pills on accident or on purpose. And the woman, bless her heart, she answered everything, I think, completely honestly. Like, at that point, she knew she'd made a mistake and she wanted help. So she did everything she could. One funny thing that happened was it took a while for the ambulance to come. And Goshen's in the middle of nowhere. And the woman was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I was like, oh. And I told the operator, I'm like, oh, this is about to get weird. And she laughed. The 911 operator laughed when I said that. And I'm like, she's gotta go to the bathroom. And she goes, well, is there any females there who can help her? And I'm like, well, I don't know, there are, but I don't know how involved they want to get in this. But just as we were walking inside the gas station to go to the bathroom, Sally and Trent showed up. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. Because Sally could now go to the bathroom and help her. And then while they were in the bathroom, the ambulance came and they loaded her up and took her away. And then I didn't know what happened to her. And she has the kind of name, both her first and last name can have multiple versions. They can be spelled multiple ways. So she wasn't like easy to find, but I searched on Facebook enough until I found her. And then I found her husband, and I sent him a message, and I'm just like...
This is where it gets weird again. Okay? So, Ryan sends me a link. This is the next day, Sunday.
Oh, that's right.
Ryan sends me a link, and it says, this is the lady. And I click on it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is the lady.
Yeah.
And so I started scrolling through, and also found a link to her husband.
You looked at the friends list. And saw they had mutual friends.
Well, no, it was her husband. It wasn't her.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw her husband, clicked on him, and saw that my brother-in-law was friends with him. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I text my brother-in-law and say, hey, do you know this guy? He goes, oh yeah, I used to work with him. And I'm like, oh, what do you know about him? And he said some things. He says, I think they're maybe having some trouble because his wife went missing last night. And I'm like, we know where she was.
Yeah, we found her.
I'm like, oh my God.
So this guy had all these posts on Facebook, you know, missing person alert, please look for my wife, she's in this van, and on and on and on. And so I sent him a message, but he didn't see it. You know how you don't see messages if you're not friends with somebody? So I left a comment on one of those things. I just asked, is she okay? And it wasn't long after that where I had him and his sister-in-law and his brother-in-law and the mother of the girl sending me messages that made me feel pretty nice. You know what I mean? Thanking me for finding her and stopping and saving her.
The truth is, this lady would not have made it had you not seen what you saw. But we stopped.
So I didn't feel anything really. I just felt like I was doing what anybody would have done. I just happened to be the right guy in the right place at the
You're
right
a
time.
hero, Ryan.
But today, earlier today, I was scrolling through Facebook, and I'm friends with this person on Facebook now. And I saw a picture of her and her 4 kids in the same van going on to have a fun day. And everybody had these huge smiles. And it could have been so different. And that's when it felt like totally real for me.
Yep, this lady, I'm telling you, she would not have made that night. And her family had been looking all over for her. They had been in Goshen, they'd been in Mona. They had people all over looking for the van.
Cops
saw
were.
them. We had a police officer.
Why didn't he know
pass
about
us?
Yeah, going into the canyon.
Maybe she wasn't in that place when he went through. I don't know. But he stopped to see what we were doing, and we said, "Oh, we're here filming." And he says, "Oh, have a great time." And he took off, and he went through the canyon. So had he known about her, or had she been, in a position where he could have seen her, he would have seen her. But so here it is. It's almost the end of the day, and nobody stopped. By the way, I'm sitting there burning my butt up in the middle of nowhere. Not one car stopped to check on me.
Really?
Not one. There were several that just went on through, waved as they went.
And that's what she said. She said that as she was sitting there, she saw many cars pass by, and no one stopped to check on her.
Except for you.
But I wouldn't have if I hadn't seen White Lips. You know what I mean? I would have kept going too.
Yep.
Anyways, that's like the crazy story. But let's get back to the actual film, and maybe I'll just back it up a little bit. What do you think? Because we can talk about these awesome shots.
And by the way, Sally's husband Trent had never flown a drone before in his life, and we started out the day by me taking the drone off, showing him the controls, he'd fly it, and then I would land it. By the end of the day, he was owning that drone.
He was a pro. He started getting, first we would just say, okay, just let it hover right there in the air. By the end of the day, he's getting shots like this, where he's just like slowly, the squirt's making me burp. He's just, slowly raising the drone like in this shot, or making it pan across the road. Those are my favorite shots. I think the ones that are straight down, they all look amazing.
I want to hear you guys, what your opinions are, what you guys think. When you look at those drone shots, which ones are the most attractive to you? Like this follow shot, like this, it's really pretty.
The other shots, somebody was in the back of my truck, when we just followed the truck through the canyon, but they all looked great.
Yeah, that's
So, this is us pulling up to Dr. Dual Sports RV. This isn't actually where he lives.
it's a guy that he knows, and the guy, apparently this guy is a real strange individual. He has some issues.
Yeah, Dr. Dual Sport was concerned, like we had to do this part quickly because he was concerned that the crazy neighbor would see us and come after us. I don't know exactly know what that means, but
yeah,
shotgun.
But there is a dude that lived in that, not at this time, but shortly before, lived in that RV. No?
We had some more audio problems, like in the Mexico episode, that are not as bad. But
Ryan learned how to amplify the audio in post.
So you can hear some more noise in the shots where I really amplified it a lot.
But in the future, we know what we need to do. And that stupid road, every time we were filming a real important thing and we had it going good, some tractor or semi or a four-wheeler or dirt bike would go down that freaking road.
Yeah.
And this is pretty much all ad-lib by Dr. Doolsport. He
Just being himself.
he's just rolling with it.
Being a guy who teaches guys how to be men.
I'd like to take you, gentlemen, and see if we can show you.
I love his wrist braces.
We go on these motorcycle adventures, and we guys end up in the middle of nowhere. And it'd be nice to know like some survival skills, how to build a fire.
How many of you have mistaken poison ivy for something else when trying to wipe your hind end on an adventure? That is my question.
It never happened to me, although I have gotten into some poison ivy before, just never in my rectum. It's funny because we have a script and we're like, okay, we're going to do these things, but then when you start filming the script, you're like, okay, wait a minute. We have to show the viewer that we've changed locations.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just magically appear in a new place. So you end up making up 80% of the film on the fly, even though you have a script in hand already.
We didn't script any of this.
No,
this is just all ad-lib.
Yeah, he's just going for it. And I felt bad that we didn't really know that he was going to start talking like this. We didn't have microphones set up nearby. And this we expected to just be a montage, just music. But there were some funny things. Like this wasn't scripted. He grabs my gloves and throws them and says gloves are for women. So we had to put that in. That was super funny. He says some things about the 1 boy, 2 boy, 3 boy thing.
Yeah.
And so it was better to leave that in than just cover it with music. In his hands, you can't really see.
They're like feet, man.
They're like leather, yeah. And my hands, I got a desk job, so they are incredibly soft.
I like how that knife is like right next to my ear. I didn't know that at the time, but I'm like,
One boy is a boy.
one boy's a one.
2 boys, I'm a boy. 3 boys.
Now, what do you think that means?
I think it means when 3 boys or
Get nothing
3 friends
done.
are together that they get really mischievous.
That must be what it means.
So now we're trying
Trying to become these men. Well, then we missed. Oh,
So the goose stuff was not in the script at all. We didn't know that there were geese. But once we got there and we saw them, we thought we got to get them in the video somehow.
yeah.
Third step, becoming a man, is you need to be able to.
And we missed one shot that was incredibly funny. I don't know where it went, but or maybe the camera wasn't on, but Ryan was chasing the geese in this other area around this tree and got clotheslined by this low-hanging branch and
Acting.
flattened him down
I
on
was
his back.
acting. This goose turns on wicked. I have a phobia of large birds. It was not easy for me to do this. I got attacked by a peacock when I was young.
And little did we know, when we're chasing these birds, the one that I pick up, I thought I broke its wings because something just felt weird.
Yeah.
It just felt off. I don't know what it was. We'll tell you about that later.
Kill your own food, prepare it. So what we're gonna do, we've got ourselves a pig here.
So this
There's Harley.
this pig did not live on Dual Sports Farm. I found this pig on the local classified section, and it was $150. And David and I went in halfsies on it. He paid probably $75. I picked up the pig, and then my wife knew nothing about it. And I was afraid if I told her, she'd freak out. So I was like, we're going to have the pig for like a couple days, and then it's gone. So I thought it'd be funny if I came home with this pig and I just walked through the door into the house with the pig under my arm. And she was like, what the? And I just went out to the backyard and tried to figure out how I was going to keep this pig from escaping. so I wouldn't lose $150. But it did not go well. I do not recommend surprising your wife.
Wait.
with a pig.
He always did this.
Here's the law of the jungle. Ryan wants to take his shirt off to intimidate Cletus.
So I wrote this into the script because we were gonna have to end up on the same motorcycle, and I feel like anytime two guys ride on the same motorcycle, they should both have to take their shirts off. And there's a movie called Made with Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn, and Favreau is on a motorcycle with this guy and has his shirt off, and he's really pissed off. So I think that's where I got that. So into the script I wrote that I would have to take my shirt off for the fight, and Damon would get his shirt ripped off by somebody we didn't
Farmer's
know.
daughter.
We didn't know. And then Dual Sport's granddaughter just happens to show up, and we're like, "You want to be in the movie?" She was like, "Okay." It was great.
Did she get the grass? Did she get the grass scene where she starts grassing around?
Yeah, because I'm a vegan, I told Dual Sport to get me down on the ground and take a handful of grass and stuff it in my mouth, but he's kind of in front of me when that happens,
Oh.
so I cut it out. You can't really see it anyways. You can kind of hear me spit, but you couldn't see it happen.
So here's Dot's granddaughter, the farmer's daughter, Haley.
And I told her, the direction I gave her was, your character, she's not very bright. So just bang on this tractor and pretend like you're trying to fix it.
And those overalls he found out in his shed and cut the sleeves off.
And the legs, yeah.
Go
So
fishing.
it's hard to hear what she says, but she was looking for these stranger, will go fishing, and drops them. And you can't see that, but they fall out of her pants and they fall on the ground. So Damon picks them up.
She works in a tire shop, by the way, and she's dragging me around like a tire.
David told her, the rougher you are, the better. Like, he gave her permission to whoop his ass.
By the way, you will hear something is wrong with my motorcycle. You hear how weird it sounds? For any of you that can figure out why that sounds like that, I'll give you a special treat. It's already fixed, by the way. Lost another one.
Damon almost crashes.
Almost crashed.
Added sound effect right there. We only did this once because the pig hated being picked up. I'm like, we have one shot at this. So I do my own stunts. A lot of people make fun of the way I run, but I'm holding a pig. I've never done this before. The pig sounded like it's being murdered. I'm freaked out.
And right here, boom, he slams into my back and my balls go slamming into the tank. And I'm like in pain right now.
So we take off, we're driving down the road, and right about here, when we get up to speed, the pig goes quiet. And I'm like, did this pig just die of a heart attack or something? But the pig, it loved the motorcycle. It hated being touched, it hated being picked up. As soon as we got to 30 miles an hour, the pig's like,
right now.
I kind of like this. This is my favorite joke of the whole thing. And people told me, don't say retarded, it's not politically correct. I'm like, you know what, it's just a joke, it's comedy, you can say retarded.
Yeah.
So if you got offended, I don't feel bad.
And Doc, he did such a great job. This is just all ad-lib stuff. One take, peachy colored motorcycle. That's my hog.
Damon in this scene, he kept saying, the pig just peed on me, the pig just peed on me.
Wet on my back.
But it was just my arm. My arm was against his back, and we were both kind of sweating, and so it felt wet to him. Because I was looking at myself like, I'm not wet.
And at one point, I don't think it's on the video, but I swear I thought Farley bit my ear.
Oh, she was trying to bite. I was doing a thing like that where you're helpless because you have to hold the handlebars. And I'm just messing with the pig, and she started to like squeal a little and try to bite her ear, and I pulled her away. You almost lost.
I almost lost my ear by a pig.
These are great shots. I love the dust right there. I mean, it wasn't enjoyable at the time, but it makes it seem real. You know, we're on a dirt road, there's some dust. That pig was just chilling, loving the ride. And I wanted to get rid of that pig as soon as possible. But then once I learned that it was kind of enjoying the motorcycle, it started growing me a little bit. I'm like, this pig's not so bad.
I just wanted to give her a little kissy before she chewed my ear off.
Oh, here comes the bad guy, the villain of the film, looking for the two heroes. So for this, in this scene, the camera goes a little crazy. We had rented this 3-axis gimbal, and I don't know if it was like malfunctioning at the time or what, but it kind of started looking around, like hunting for something.
I think she was moving around a lot with it.
Yeah.
But the other thing you'll notice that we put on our Mexico shirts, and we kind of had this thing planned where we were going to have this sort of idea that the shirts from Mexico was kind of a reminder of our trip to Mexico, and that we were going to have these shirts with us and carry them with us to help us remember how it was to be a man. But in the end, it was so freaking hot we didn't even know our own name by this time of the day.
Yeah. So I think I just say something like, "Oh, you still got the Mexico shirts? Boy, that was lucky." Kind of explain away how they suddenly appear on the bike.
But we want to have connections between each episode, that there's either a running joke or there's some connection between, each episode that we do. And so that was kind of one of the things that we wanted to make that connection with. And this pig right there is burning the freak up. And for those of you who don't know, they don't have sweat glands. So I was getting worried because that pig was freaking hot.
Yeah, sandwiched in between us on the bike. Maybe that's why it quieted down and had heat
I
stroke.
knew it was going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's moving around the camera.
Yeah.
Harley Davidson, I think I like you. You're not so bad.
Thank goodness for that shade and that little bit of breeze.
Yeah, we stopped there for a reason. That shade. As soon as this scene was over, we put her in the back of my truck and I cracked open a bottle of water, dumped it on her, and she laid down in it. This was one take. We only did this one time because we didn't want to bother the pig too much.
Yeah.
It's so hard to work with the pig. We're just like, we're doing this once. I think maybe we practiced once without the pig, and then we did it for real. My brother, who's doing the sound here, you can hear him say around this point, "More crime, more crime." And so we just keep going. I thought it was funny to lay it over the credits.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun.
So I want to say one thing. This story was based on a motorcycle trip that my brother and I once took. And we stopped at Hole in the Rock in Moab, and they had this pig there. We started making jokes about how we were going to liberate this pig and take it with us. And it was going to be our best friend. And originally the script, that's what we were going to do, just joke about taking it. And I'm like, it's so much better if we actually take the pig.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were going to try and break it out of a zoo type place, but that was too hard.
Here it goes.
We all expected that goose to gracefully fly away, and when it hit the ground,
And if you remember me telling you about, if you remember me telling you about how I thought I broke the wings of that bird, it was because the wings were developed upside down and backwards, and that was the only one that he had that was like that. And had he known, he wouldn't have thrown it.
you see how smart that pig was? It was like a Scooby-Doo cartoon. So this is what I'm trying to explain to everybody. Look, we can't do the other things. We had all these other things planned out where we were going to do these fun activities with the pig, like watch a movie and
Do its nails and do a makeover.
yeah. I'm like, it won't let us pick it up. And this is funny because it's eating graham crackers right there, and it manages to be screaming and swallowing at the same time. I don't know how it's doing that, but
We were laughing so hard.
we're just like, look, do you understand now why I don't want to do the other stuff? Like, we can't do it. So we had to call an audible and end it how we ended it. Harley was always going to die at the end, but we're going to do more things.
Yeah.
But anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. That's the episode.
Have a good one. Look forward for the next one.
Peace.